You know, you on
It's like
time. You aren't ready to go at 6.
Live, and then he was like, "Yeah, I'm
He knew.
gonna leave the room now."
I said, "Fuck these guys."
Kind of respect, but not also pain in the ass.
For real.
Different cat than the one that's been pissing me off. This is the darling cat.
Did we get a win yesterday? Basketball.
Oh, we didn't have men's league. We just did.
I lost 1 game of 6.
Wait, was it you two 1-on-1 or what?
No.
No. We played with like a hall of 18, 17 people. We had 3 teams.
Oh, is this like the Sunday night pickup run somewhere?
Yeah.
Yeah, we play at the gym named after Missoula's dad.
So you guys, was Missoula there? Gym. That's sick.
Mm-hmm.
They have Missoula jerseys in the hallway.
Mm-hmm. I clamped up Sam for a few possessions. It was great.
They have his brother's jersey up there too, I assume.
Yeah, okay.
Vermont, right?
No, I think it's like his dad's uniforms.
It's not even Joe's?
No, it's not Joe's. It's like dedicated to his father.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Dusty floor.
All right, I'll do the video intro.
I was pissed. All right.
I'll do video intro, then we can jump into the actual stuff.
Sweet.
And we are back with another edition of How About Them Celtics Talkin' C's with Bobby Kravitsky of SI Media Group. Bobby, how you doing today?
Doing fantastic. We had a lot to get into, including from today's practice. So excited to hit on everything we've got cooking for this rundown.
Yes, sir. Lots of stuff. Before we get into it, Sam and I have been doing this new thing where we shill the channel, which we're going to do again because it works. And you guys listen. So please leave a like on this video. Make sure to subscribe to How About Them Celtics. Turn on the notification bell and comment what's popping under the video for a chance to win a $10 Incognito gift card. All that good stuff. Check out Bobby's work at si.com/Celtics as well. All right. Let's actually talk about the team now. Do you want to start with practice or do you want to start with Celtics-Knicks, Bobby?
Why don't we start with a rewind and talk Celtics-Knicks? So, Jack, if you want to kick it off, give us one or a couple of your biggest takeaways. We'll go from there.
Yes, sir. So the title of the stream, the title of the video, I couldn't think of the word video. That's really sad. Jaylen Brown, dominant. Just a purely dominant scoring performance from JB in that game. After I believe it was second quarter takeover against the Bulls, another game where he just got wherever he wanted. He was making some tough middies. He was doing the too small on guys. He was doing the clamps when he played
too small is overdone.
That was the best celebration of the night.
The clamps?
The clamps.
So I posted the clamp celebration on Twitter, and I got ripped to shreds. People were very mad. They go, Kristaps is in drop. Jaylen got blown by. And I said, one, the drop defense was just the scheme they were in. So yeah, he's in drop defense and he got help, of course. 2, Jaylen played good defense the rest of the possession. And 3, I was posting a super cool celebration to Twitter, Knicks fans. Shut up. Go away. Like get off my timeline.
People don't want to hear it. Like the Knicks fans are the worst. Everyone's like, oh, Knicks fans, like they deserve this. Like, no, they don't. They're the worst.
You see Kevin Durant told them you guys are better as an underdog story. Like basically you weren't built to be winners. It's more fun when you guys are at this level.
It's facts. It's fun when the Knicks are a fun team, which is the most insulting thing you as a team that's trying to be competitive can be called, because that means no one's taking you seriously as a contender. It's just like, oh yeah, like something for the fans to root for.
It was honest and patronizing.
If Randall played, the Celtics would have won by 35. That is a fact. He would have fumbled around for at least 5 possessions, stumbled all over himself, and threw the ball off the top of the backboard.
They would have hunted him, that's for sure.
There would have been at least 3 watch this possessions.
I say I'm not a fan of Randall, but yeah, my top thing was JB being able to go from taking his time, maybe not taking the most shots on some nights, to just completely dominating the Celtics offense in the best way possible. Was fun to watch. Bobby, what was
Jack, I mean, you started with what you declared a shameless shilling, so I'll do the same right now. You've thrown the lob. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but Venmo's on the way. And so I spoke to Joe Mazzulla about that topic today because it was a part of my film piece on what stood out from the game. And so he pointed to 2 specific moments. So I'll start with a rewind where I spoke to Joe Mazzulla when the Celtics played in Miami the previous trip, not Super Bowl Sunday, when they throttled them in South Beach. And I spoke to him about how he defines pace. It was a really cool conversation we had where he told me he doesn't look at it as playing fast, but instead for this team specifically, the way that he defines pace for them is that they have to be able to quickly read the coverage, get to their spacing fast, and then play out of that. So I spoke to him today about Jaylen Brown's growth in that department, and he brought up two specific examples along with the work that Brown has put in with assistant coaches on the staff in the film room, always trying to grow in this area, because Jaylen has spoken this season about how this leap that people doubted he could make as a facilitator means a great deal to him. And when asked why, he specifically pointed to wanting to earn the trust of his teammates. And if you're going to be one of the faces of the franchise, then you have to be able to deliver in that regard specifically. So the examples that Joe Mazzulla brought up to me both involve him getting Jalen Brunson in the low post and being able to, as you said, Jack, act with poise under pressure. And so he gets the ball, and it's not what we've seen in years past where it's immediately trying to plow your way to the rim. You don't really read the defense, and now you might just end up turning the ball over or you miss your shot. Instead, he gets it. His head is up. He's scanning the defense. And in the first example, Dante DiVincenzo comes over to double team him. He takes an escape dribble. He gets it to Derek White. Derek White drives. He kicks to an open Drew Holiday for a three. Hockey assist. Same thing happens on the second example Mazzulla brought up, where he gets Brunson in the post. Alec Burks immediately sprints over to come and double him. And Jaylen, he draws Alec Burks closer to him, kicks it out to the outlet, Drew Holiday. He swings it to Jason Tatum, and Tatum attacks downhill for an easy layup. And those are prime examples of what you brought up there, Jack, and I appreciate you for doing it, where it's Jaylen Brown having poise under pressure and allowing himself to stay ahead of schedule and make the game easy for him by playing that way. And it's a huge advantage that the Celtics will need come the playoffs.
Yeah, it's a great point about Jaylen. Him maturing as a player is going to be huge in the playoffs, because a lot of people will point that that's a reason why they didn't get past Miami last year. They love to pull out the turnovers, the left hand, whatever. Doris Burke, by the way, also loved to mention the left hand on the broadcast. But my takeaway is just a big finger over the lips. Let's not hear about the Knicks for a little while here. I understand that there are people missing, Anunoby being a very important piece to why they match up well against the Celtics. But the way the Knicks were being talked about for the last month, they were the team to beat. They were world beaters. They had finally figured it out. Jalen Brunson was an MVP level player, and he played great. But I'm so thrilled that they won that game on Saturday. You have no idea.
You're just mad at Andrew. You're so mad at Andrew.
I'm so sick and tired of seeing all the stuff in the chats, the stuff
Andrew's
on Twitter.
A Knicks fan who comments on our pods.
He's here no matter what. He's just like Leon
Respect.
Rose is a better
It's
GM.
easy to stoke the fire.
Just moronic takes. Knicks fans deserve nothing except for what they got on Saturday, which is a whomping. They really didn't have a chance in the second half. They had Porzingis laughing at him, trying to boo him. Weak fan base. They got nothing going for him. Mickey Mouse garden, whatever you want. No banners in their garden. Sad garden. Garden with no flowers. It's like a desert garden.
Happy birthday, John, by the way. Birthday tomorrow.
Happy birthday,
John.
From Talkin Seas to you. We wish it was our birthday so we could party too.
Hey, the chat also wishing happy birthday. Shout out. Maybe we'll see you at the game.
Messed up. Second to Buddy on the insulting endearment terms power rankings.
Shout out, John. But yeah, no, seeing Jaylen Brown sort of break out into this playmaking role, his ability to sort of control the offense has been huge. Tatum did a great job of that against the Knicks as well. He was huge. It was just a very well put together game for Boston. Kind of exactly the mold you want to see in one of those games against a good team. A couple guys out still, but still a good team against a guy who will probably be on an all-NBA team.
Fun team.
By the end of the season. Sure. Fun team. They are, in fact, a fun team.
To credit Tatum, Mazzulla had a lot of good things to say about Tatum's game on Saturday. Like, finished with 19 points, 7 of 15 from the field, but all the other things he was able to contribute to the Celtics was one of the main reasons they won that game. He was patient, picked his spots, all those things he talked about with Jared Weiss in the Athletic article that came out last week about, okay, like, it's just not my time. That's what we saw. He was like, Jaylen's cooking. Jaylen could have the ball. Porzingis has it. Okay, we'll go through him. And Tatum was an in case of an emergency guy throughout that game, and he did a pretty good job of just being patient, getting downhill. Like, his presence was not felt when shots weren't going in, and he just played a controlled game, which is what you want out of him. And really everybody on the Celtics right now. It's the reason why we went around and praised Jaylen, and Tatum deserves the same praise, and so does everybody else, because they've done a great job of being a team.
Yeah, it's easy money for Tatum when the second defender comes at him and he can whip a behind-the-back pass to Porzingis for a three. Yeah. And so credit to him that he's talked about, don't get bored making the right play over and over again. What he's doing is simple, but it works almost every time. You know, all it is they send a second defender sprinting at him, declaring their intentions, which is, we want someone else to beat you. But the Celtics have the most talented top six in the NBA. So examples like that one with Kristaps are going to present themselves every time it happens. And credit to Tatum for taking the easy money there. And I think that as deservedly as we're putting the attention on, hey, they had 6 players score in double figures and it's a balanced offense. And this comes on the heels of, in the Bulls game, first one back from the break, it was a different leading scorer in each of the first 3 quarters, and just how many options they have on a per possession basis to turn to. But also defensively, I thought for much of the night on Saturday, they were outstanding. Al Horford was wreaking havoc as a help and individual defender. There's times where he's coming down to cut off the baseline and then getting back to challenge at the perimeter, different things like that. Jrue Holiday was an absolute menace out there, including that block from behind and a play that I feel like isn't getting enough credit, where the game was within 11, Knicks had momentum, and Josh Hart comes full speed downhill to the basket, and Jrue Holiday takes a perfect angle, goes up with him to the point where Josh Hart, who's bigger than him, abandons the idea of even trying to get a layup or draw a foul or anything of the sort, and he half-heartedly kicks it out right into the arms of Jason Tatum. So to me, Jrue Holiday and Al Horford were at the center of an outstanding defensive performance as well. Yes, against the shorthanded Knicks team.
Well, Horford was like an interesting piece of that game, because that was the first time I think we've seen Horford create anything on offense in quite some time, and he did it 2 or 3 times. He was posting up. He was driving on the baseline. Like, all we've seen him do is just pull up from 3. I'm not saying that Al Horford's going to do that every game, but it was fun to see him do it again. It was a little turn back the clock for 5 minutes of game time for Al Horford. So good for him. I love the defense that they both brung, and Horford, who has been extremely consistent this year on that end of the floor. Lovely to see it again.
Definitely. Celtics defense, I feel like, hasn't gotten enough credit this year in general. I feel like a lot of the focus has been on the offense. You know, they're the best offense in the league in technically NBA history. Not technically, but that's all semantics for a reason. But the defense has slowly crept up to, I think they're second in the league now in defense, right behind the Timberwolves, and they're inching closer. Actually, they're technically third now. 110.7. They're not going to get to first. There's too big of a gap. 110.7, 110.4 for the Cavs, 107.9 for the T-Wolves. The difference is Timberwolves offense 114.8, Cavs offense 115.9, Celtics is 121.2. So it's going to be tough for those two to catch the Celtics in that regard. They're the only team in the top 3 for both, and the only other team in the top 5 for both is the Thunder, who are 3rd in offense and 4th in defense. So credit the Celtics. They've been great. And shout out to Bobby. I agree, Timo. Bobby's a beast.
Appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Let's go Bob Myers next. He put this on the rundown. I wasn't 100% sure what you were referencing, but I assume you were referencing him saying, can the Celtics beat Giannis, Butler, and Embiid? Or can Tatum beat Giannis, Butler, and Embiid? And Bob Myers, we're not allowed to swear on the show, but his big dumb face just doesn't know the history of the Celtics in the playoffs. They've literally beaten every single one of those players. Embiid, they've beaten every single time. Giannis, they're 1-0 against in the playoffs, 2-0 against in the playoffs. 2-1. 2-1. They lost to the Bucks in the playoffs. When did they lose?
The Kyrie Hayward year.
Blocked that one out. Yep, blocked that one out. 2-1 against Giannis in the playoffs, and then they are 1-2 against Jimmy, so they are at a little bit of a disadvantage there, I suppose. But let's not act like they haven't beaten every single one of those players in the playoffs multiple times. So like, Bob, it's just for the sake of talk show. Like, stop. That's ratless behavior.
Well, exactly. Right there. Like, we could end the topic without ever getting into it. It's for the talk show. It's ratless behavior. I mean, if you want to look at it that way, like, for example, if you're a producer on the show, you say, well done, Bob, because that was pretty impressive for a rookie in that forum to deliver it like that. And look, he left the Warriors as what he deemed to be a sinking ship. So if he wants to throw them a solid and bring up the 2022 finals multiple times while discussing a Celtics-Knicks game, I get it. Go right ahead. That's your prerogative. But to then turn around and be like, you know, we got to see Jason. Can he actually outplay Joel Embiid in a playoff series? Like, what are you talking about, my guy? It was just, again, it's really good for as like a sports talking head type of a clip, but Bob Myers shouldn't be stooping to that. So if it works and people are still talking about it, then he did the job. But, you know, they have Stephen A. and Kendrick Perkins is all about being in that lane. And it's a Saturday night show revolving around coverage of a particular game. So it was disappointing that someone who is so good when talking about other things and being a bit more honest in his on-air appearances, that he stooped to that.
The level of disgust for Bobby.
I love it. It's
to the lowest level.
He sold himself out.
I do love this. This sparked the whole, I think, the Tatum Twitter stuff that we did the video on yesterday, Jack, where literally everyone's like, well, Tatum just has too much help. Did Tatum actually outplay Embiid? Would he outplay Luka? Is he better than any of these guys? It's like, I don't really care if he's better than them. He beats them all the time. He has never lost to Embiid in a playoff series. Even last year when they went 7 games, Embiid only beat the Celtics twice. He did not play in the game 1 for whatever that's worth. I don't think it means anything. But you want to just pull win-loss. That one hurts the Sixers column. As for Milwaukee, Celtics have beaten them in 7-game series since Tatum has joined the team, and they obviously lost in 5 in 2019.
I mean, that's still the best game of Tatum's career, in my opinion.
Yes.
The 46 piece in Milwaukee season.
Big facts.
Yeah, it's definitely.
That's always remarkable to me. People are like, he can't play in the playoffs. We had somebody in the video in the comments be like, well, he can't play in the playoffs. It's like
15 in Game 7. Yeah,
buddy, he has the Game 7 record. Even when he was bad in Game 6, he was good against Philly. Like, he was 1 of 14, and then he won the game. He stepped up and said, that's enough of that. I'm going to make all the shots now, and I'm going to rip the hearts out of Philly. Everybody in the building, Wells Fargo Center, there go your feelings. They've just been crushed.
This is true as well. Bobby, for context, Sam and I did a video this morning that was titled "Stop Crying About Jason Tatum." That was the whole title.
I had seen enough.
This is true. Why does Luka and Embiid get the pass, but Tatum can't, especially when he's been the furthest in the playoffs? I think Luka gets similar treatment to Tatum in terms of criticism. Why is Embiid getting the pass? He's literally done less than either of these guys. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
I think it's expectations. I don't think people expect the Sixers to win in the playoffs. So he doesn't get slighted for the fact that they don't. And he's often not at his best in the postseason. And I'm not just talking about the injuries, but in terms of performance as well. And with Doncic, I think he gets a pass for 2 things. One, he's not much of a defender. And even he's talked about trying more in that regard this season, but he's still a net negative on that side of the ball. And that seems to get glossed over too easily, in my opinion. And secondly, in a lot of these seasons, his team's not winning. They ended last season tanking to keep their draft pick. They went to the Western Conference Finals and were not competitive. And outside of that, they haven't had much playoff success. You know, they threatened the Clippers in the bubble. So to me, I think Doncic does get a pass too easily for being a one-way player, quite frankly, and also for the lack of postseason success.
I loved that, and we talked about this, the guy that was like, well, if Luka only had 7 points a half or whatever the hell Tatum had in the Game 6, his team would be down 20 to 30 points. And people are like faulting Tatum because his teams are actually good and well built. It's like, well, Yes, but also Luka had Porzingis, and Porzingis had to sit in the corner because Luka was playing my career. Yes, Luka has had Kyrie, who was on the teams with Tatum. Yes, Luka has had Grant Williams, who was better in Boston because Tatum was probably easier for him to play with. And since he's left Dallas, he has been pretty good. So maybe, despite the triple doubles and all the assists and the point guard position that Luka plays, maybe Tatum's better at making his teammates better. Have we thought of that? He will take the back seat if it's necessary to get the guys going, which I don't really think, one, Dallas is game planning to do, and two, Luka is really capable of doing.
Listen, Sam and I get in plenty of arguments. Whether I know you don't say Luka's not good. Well, I guess I could have left the sentence there. We do get plenty of arguments.
Yeah, that's why it was funny.
We disagree. I think Luka is a great basketball player. I think Tatum is probably the easier personality and play style to play with. And I think it takes not that you can't win with Luka's style of play. I think you can win. It just takes the right pieces and the players willing to play in the roles next to him. It is objectively a lot harder to build around a guy like Luka, regardless of but I don't think that has anything to do with his talent level. I think it's just the play style. And the reason I in the Tatum video defended Luka a little bit in terms of like, oh, this, that, and the other thing is that's just the system they've built around him. Like, if you want to like blame, like the guy, the tweet was something along the lines of like, well, Luka doesn't only take 15 shots because he's a superstar. Tatum's a glorified role player, which is just like the most obscene thing I've ever read in my life. But it's like, the reason Luka never takes 15 shots is because that's the team they built around him. The Celtics built a team around Tatum where he doesn't have to do that every night, and that's for the better. Your tweet is basically reading the Mavs have done a terrible job of building a competent basketball team around the superstar, because that's what it is. Like, and like the point in the chat, Kobe said it best, you can't win with that play style about Harden Luka. Yeah, exactly. And the Lakers built a team of good players around them. Like, it was Pau Gasol. They had Shaq there. They had role players like Lamar Odom. Like, they had great players. Like, you can get far with the Harden Luka play style, but it's tough to get over that hump. And I don't think that's indicative of whether or not Luka's bad. Like, I've heard Luka in interviews talk about like, I don't care about anything. I just want to win. But the team they've built around him is a team where he does all that because he is good enough to do all that. But if the Mavs were smart, I think they'd get in more players like Boston, where you bring in high-level defenders and guys who can play off the ball but also handle the ball, the Derek Whites, the Drew Holidays. Not that those guys are growing on trees, but I don't think it's fair to completely blame Luka in this situation when the Mavericks have chose to build that style of team around him. That said, like Bobby said, I personally think Tatum's probably better than Luka because the defense and people like ignore that side of the ball whenever they have these conversations. So I think it's
no stats. You can't point exactly at like the box score and be like, look at all the defense he played tonight.
You have to watch the games, and that's why Patriots fans will never understand.
Not every skill is created equally, but at the same time, Tatum is undeniably the more well-rounded player. And I think if you could assign, if there were objective points for each ability and skill, I think that Tatum's aggregate score would come out higher than Doncic's. Plus, like you said, Jack, it's easier to build around Tatum than it is Luka. And maybe that has something to do with the Mavericks not doing the best possible job on that front. And when they took a big swing and they brought in Kristaps Porzingis, it didn't work out. A lot of that does fall on KP at the time, and he's owned it. But nonetheless, it didn't work out, and it might have gone better with a different superstar. Or maybe if Doncic made some concessions, or maybe if he moved instead of recharge the stamina bar when he didn't have the ball in his hands. And so to me, I look at all of it. You know, for example, another point that I wanted to bring up while you were talking there about the Kobe Bryant quote is that Phil Jackson coached Michael Jordan and Kobe and identified the tipping point as them realizing, I'm not going to score my way to a championship. And they started finally trusting their teammates and getting them the ball and getting them more involved. And you look at Jason Tatum, and he kind of had that message to an appreciable extent coming into the league and just continues to build off what was a pretty high entry point in that regard. And so like we're seeing, it doesn't really matter the combination. The Celtics completely changed the core of their roster this season. They hit the ground running from day one. And so it's just easier to put pieces around Tatum than it is Doncic.
Yep.
100%. Defense matters. Timo said it best in the chat, baby. Absolutely. All right. Next thing. Let's get into here. A couple more things. Blake Griffin. Derek White and Peyton Pritchard went on the PMT Pardon My Take podcast with Big Cat at Barstool. Sam and I just finished talking about it on our pod, which drops tomorrow. You'll see this first, obviously, but Big Cat FaceTimed Blake Griffin and sort of goaded him into coming back. When are you coming back? Derek White, Peyton Pritchard both had very good things to say. Pritchard said he talked to him recently about it, and Blake Griffin emphasized, I'm, enjoying life right now. I'm good. Joe Mazzulla said it at practice today, said, I'm talked to him last summer, and he said he loves the, just being with his family. And he said he didn't talk to him since then because he respects that. That said, as Sam likes to say, leave Cornette alone. Like, no reason. Blake Griffin saw him dunk the other day. Blake said if the narrative comes out that he can dunk, maybe he'll come back. So chat, comment when you saw Blake Griffin dunk last, and maybe he'll come back. But Bobby, I would love to see him sign a Tristan Thompson Lakers contract like last season, where right before the playoffs, bring him on board. But thoughts on a Blake Griffin return and just the whole conversation?
Well, the way they're talking about it makes the antennas go up. You can't help but wonder, do they either feel like they've secured a commitment from him to return, or they're just trying to push it because they feel like they might be able to persuade him? And so
peer pressure him.
Yeah, I mean, Derek White, who, is not one to speak for the group, said he's one of the best teammates that all of us have ever had. Today, when we got a chance to speak with Derek at practice, and he said that, he made it fun to be around, and how much they enjoyed that. And that, hey, but at the same time, he's with his family and whatever he wants to do, that's cool. And that comment came last, after the "we love having you around," and after going on Pardon My Take and discussing Blake Griffin. And so it just feels like there's a little bit of campaigning here, and maybe the Celtics even have the answer already. Joe Mazzulla is the one who said, as you brought up there, that we spoke about it. We saw each other twice in LA, and it was, it was about whatever's best for your family, and that's what comes first. And I left it alone. But the players are not leaving it alone. And so it will be interesting to see if Blake Griffin does in fact return to fill that vacant roster spot.
Yeah, for what it's worth, they were not the ones to bring up the Blake Griffin thing today. It was Big Cat, because he's a friend of their show. But the enthusiasm that they did speak about it with goes right to your point. They do love him. And Pritchard saying that he did text him 2 weeks ago, was like, hey, buddy, lace him up. Come on, we would love to have you back. Maybe they do have a little bit of faith. They think that they might be able to convince him. He's certainly on the phone, if you haven't heard it, sounded like he was being asked to play one more game on Xbox at 3 a.m, wants to go to bed. And all the guys are like, come on, Blake, one more, end on a win. And he's like, nah, man, nah. And he's at the point where he has not cracked yet. But the cadence, tone, whatever you want to call it, that he was on the FaceTime call with today, it sounded like there is a part of him that's like, man, I got one more in me.
I would love it. Also, with all due respect, if you think Cornette has cement feet, I saw him dunk. I did, but
he kind of does have cement feet, but not terrible cement feet. He
well,
has,
what I'm saying is,
7-foot tall feet.
Well, no. What I'm saying is, yes, Blake Griffin can obviously still dunk, but if we're comparing athleticism at this point in their careers, let's not act like we're getting Lob
Blake
City.
had that huge dunk against the Hornets last season in Boston.
This is true. It's clear the players want him back, but do you think? I think they'd accept him back. I think
Brad's talked about this, right?
I think there's a reason.
At the beginning of the season, he was like, "Listen, if he wants to come back, we'll have him."
I think there's a reason they haven't filled that 15th spot. That's all I'm saying.
Maybe.
Oh man. Maybe I'd like Blake back. He's my top option. The vibes would be elite. The Bus One boys. He's great. Cornette's not 30 years old either. What is he, 27, 28? Yeah, he's 28. And Blake's 34, 33 anyways. Okay. Anything else from practice, Bobby, that we missed that we didn't hit on yet? I know Joe Mazzulla talked briefly about the mentality, him and Derek White down the stretch of the season, what they're looking to do, just the day-to-day mindset, some of the stuff we've heard before. What do you look at? What are your takeaways from practice today?
I think we hit on the takeaways from practice. I did appreciate there was a pretty impressive journalist there who asked about Derek White's relationship with the assistant coaches. And that's where we learned that he's got the key to what Matt Reynolds looks for when challenging calls or not. So shout out to that individual because he's here on this chat. So that was a good question and a good answer.
Is me. I was there today, and I didn't want to say that I went to practice because it's usually not.
We were saving it for the live stream.
Yeah, but I figured we would say it.
If I could swear right now, I would. I had no idea where you're going with that. I was like, yeah, what question he's talking about? No, yeah, I'm cooking something up. We got something in the chamber. I asked Tillman about it too when I talked to him. So we're James Harden. That's the only good thing that's brought to the table.
Oh, you don't want James Harden.
I know. I like it,
especially now with the playoffs coming.
That's the only good thing.
James Harden used to do.
I like the cooking. Sixers tomorrow. As we're, I guess this is coming out later tonight as well. Sixers
the song?
In town. Do you want to play?
I do like the song. We were in Philly when you guys did that pod, and we had been talking about how we like that song. And then I don't even play it on the show.
You know what? I'm gonna pull up. I'm not pulling up the song. How about them Celtics 76ers game 7? This is what we're doing.
Talkin sees family friendly. So we put it up on Bobby's Inside the Celtics post, and we can't really curse if there's going to be a part of that. So
it's in the article. So it just makes editing easier for me. But here we go. Let's take it.
It hits every time.
This is our intro after Game 7.
Fire.
Yes, everybody. I really only listen to the song around playoff time, and it always is just good vibes.
It's great.
The team's got to win the series.
It's because they always win.
Yeah, they win no matter what. It doesn't matter.
I love it.
I remember Jack showing this to me.
Yeah, I showed you when you were in Philly because we were talking about it. Oh, it's phenomenal. Sixers in town. No Embiid, obviously. They are 2-8 in their last 10 games. Not very good. It's tough when you lose one of the best players in the NBA. But, Bobby, biggest things you're looking for the Sixers game? Is it just a matter of staying focused, locking in? Or is this one of the games that Joe Mazzulla talked about before the break where you're like, maybe we experiment a little bit. Maybe we test some things out?
I don't even need experimentation. What I want is Jaden Springer revenge game. Yeah. Daryl Morey took a shot at him on his way out the door. And you could say he was just being honest with his commentary. As a media member, you love that he said it. If you're Jaden Springer, and Springer addressed it when the Celtics were in South Beach for Super Bowl Sunday, and how he said, look, I'm not worried about that. I'm here now. I'm happy to be here. I'm loving my time as a Celtic so far. That's the right thing to say. But Drew Holiday also once looked me dead in the eye and said it wasn't a big deal to be playing the Bucks for the first time. And then he went out there and was so geeked up that he nearly threw the ball through the backboard. And all the Celtics talked about how badly they wanted to get that win for him. So Jaden Springer is absolutely using this as motivation. The Celtics have unofficially clinched the Eastern Conference. The Sixers are 3-7 in their last 10 games. I want to see Jaden Springer get some run and go double Freedom Rockets to Daryl Morey and his old team.
That'd be fantastic. Imagine if he literally did that. Adam Silver would have a stroke. He'd be like, I can't believe this.
I think Joe Mazzulla would love it if he actually did that.
Oh, Mazzulla would love it. No doubt. Mazzulla would be like, yeah, me too. I'm in. He would join him. I would love to see Springer play tomorrow. I didn't even think about that, Bobby. That is a great underrated storyline to this game. And, I mean, with all the Celtics-Sixers stuff that comes with it anyways, despite Embiid not playing. I mean, last time the Celtics played Philly at the Garden, it was a lot closer than it should have been, despite literally no one playing. Pat Bev at 25. So, Celtics going to take this seriously at the very least. I love, though, Jordan Walsh getting called up for this. Tweeted about it today. I'm like, think they might blow him out tomorrow? Because I feel like that's anytime you see the Jordan Walsh get called up tweet, it's like victory cigar the day before the game.
Yeah.
Which isn't always what you want to see.
Would be cool.
Just keep in mind with Jordan Walsh. Sorry, Jack. Just keep in mind with Jordan Walsh. It's really important for him to be up here to get those practice reps. So like today, we saw him as a part of a group going one-on-one afterwards, where it was him and Kada and Pritchard, and Springer, by the way, was denying people and putting the clamps on defensively. So shout out Jaden Springer for that. That's right. And then just those practice reps, like we've seen him go against Jaylen Brown a bunch one-on-one as well in his time at the Auerbach Center. So victory cigar, whether he plays or doesn't, that's great. And if he can get those on-court reps, but whether it's film room sessions with some of the assistants or what he gets to do just by being at practice, there's times where it's more valuable for him than being in a game with the G League team.
I love Jimmy J saying his new hot take is he wants the Heat in round one. He definitely kind of went on Twitter today and stumbled upon the fact that Celtics swept Miami in the regular season. He's like, all right, this is it. We got this.
Shout out. I'd like it. I'm hyped for a potential Jaden Springer game. He was playing well in practice today. Pritchard made an obscene shot in that 1v1 thing they're doing here. I can pull it up quick. Jaden Springer was playing Pritchard and Kada and Walsh and them, but I think it's like one of the first ones here, so it should just be here. But it was over Walsh, yeah. Walsh plays like great defense, and Pritchard's just like, see, just right over his face.
Walsh has like a 7'3" wingspan, and he just calmly launched that over him.
Look how dejected he looked at the end of that.
Well, there was another possession where Pritchard took a shot and a miss, but he called foul, and Walsh was like, no.
Oh, you can't call foul.
Pritchard took shoot for ball, and he made it, and then he got the ball and made Jordan Walsh defend him again, and then he made a tough one over him. Jordan Walsh just goes like getting on that. It was very funny.
He just goes and kicks the wall.
It was very cool. Choppa saying, "Did you guys check out Paul Pierce launch?" I did not. I haven't yet.
I did see he was kind of talking about the playoff scenario, and he was like, I don't know why anyone's saying Philly because they literally never beat the Celtics. Paul Pierce is basically a member of the show with his mindset. He's like, that's a joke. They would literally never lose to Philly.
100%. I couldn't agree more. Okay. Let's see. Medic number 18. Yes. Any other things you wanted to cover today, Bobby, or did we hit it all?
I think we hit on everything.
All righty. Does that mean it's time for trivia?
Let's go.
It is time.
All right.
It's a new series, or is this the second game?
This is a new one, I think.
New series.
The start of a new series.
And with the start of the new series, with trivia, it's trivia time, chat. Jack has had to start creating the questions himself because we're out of cards. No cards.
We will find something to purchase.
We're going to do a new format of trivia. You might have seen it on the Celtics blog, the big Celtics game show we did over the summer with the First of the Floor fellas. I'm going to provide you guys a category, a Celtics all-time leaders category, and you have to name players, and you each get 5 answers. We'll go back and forth. We'll go Bobby, Sam, or Sam, Bob. Since Bobby won the last one, Bobby, Sam, Bobby, Sam, Bobby, Sam. Or we can do Snake if you want, where it's 1, then 2, then 1. I'll let you two decide that. And whoever has the most cumulative, for example, we're not doing points, so I'll say it. If I asked you most all-time points scored by a Celtic, you each give me your 5 answers. I will combine all of the point totals, and whoever has the most total points is what you get.
Nice.
That is your score, and whoever is the highest score will win. So you don't have to get necessarily the top 10, but whoever is the most cumulative. So if you have a really bad guess, you're probably screwed. So don't have a bad guess. All right, let's get into this. I will share the screen. Consistency is key with this one. Let me wipe the board from our last one. It is a 2 series wins, 2 Sams, 1. We're clearing these. No games have won yet in this. Okay. To kick off the
season, let me hide the comments.
Oh, yes. Hide the comments.
Yeah, comments off. My thought would be we continue with the 1v1v, but if Sam wants to go Snake, okay, cool.
1v. Okay. To lead off the new Celtics trivia, most turnovers in Celtics history. Go back and forth naming the players who have committed the most turnovers in Boston Celtics history. If they are not on, I have the list of the top 10 right here. If they're not on the top 10, I will look it up, and that will be what you're credited with. So I have Basketball Reference open. Bobby, who has the most turnovers, total turnovers in Boston Celtics history?
It's a great question. I also want it on the rat list. As far as top of the list, I'm just trying to think of people who had the ball in their hands and got careless.
Before you answer, I'm gonna Google when did the NBA start tracking turnovers.
I was about to ask that.
Just so there's no controversy after Bobby said something. They started tracking it in the 73-74 season. So that is important context here.
Two of you were on top of it.
You both have. So that is fair now. I'm seeing a lot of things in the chat. I'm seeing a lot of correct answers in the chat. I'll say that.
The chat's going to outperform me in this one.
Definitely.
But I will start with Antoine Walker.
Antoine Walker. All right. Let's take a look here. Okay, I'm going to copy paste. You'll see it pop up on the screen here. Antoine Walker. That many turnovers. 1,782 turnovers. Sam, Paul Pierce, leader for turnovers. Here it is. Sorry, it's going to take me a little bit longer than normal because I have to find it and copy paste. That is wrong. I didn't copy the full number. Excuse me.
Cardiac arrest.
There's the full number.
I'm shook for the rest of the game.
Sorry.
Mickey Mouse.
Get over yourself. Go ahead, Bobby. Next up, no Daco. No, he is not top 5.
Yeah, he's been here for 7 years already. Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown. All right. Let's see here. Jaylen Brown. Gotta find it.
Well, this is
turnover.
Good for me.
Turnover total here. Jaylen Brown. 1,070.
That's not bad.
Sam. Dave, you got a couple right there. Yes.
I have a few. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I'm gonna change the background to the new Talkin.
I'm gonna guess Larry. I'll guess Larry Bird.
Larry Bird. All right. Let's see. Larry Bird. Turnovers. Let's see here.
Oh, this is not good.
Type it in here. Larry Bird. See if I copied the full number. I did. 28-16 for Larry. Bobby got some ground to make up here. I will say though, the good part about this category is it just takes one slip up from Sam for you to be right back in this. So
this one's not my round.
It could be an early 1-game
We're
lead.
Back.
Yeah, this could be Sam.
This is I went out in the summer, got some new pieces on my team. Maybe change the sport.
We might have celebrated this championship a little too long over the summer.
The hangover.
We're playing our way into shape this season.
Yes. What you got?
I will go with Rondo.
Rajon Rondo. Let's see. Can I find it here? Rajon Rondo on the board with 1,488.
Where are the multiple thousands? I need the 2 or 3s.
Sam, back to you.
I'm gonna guess Robert Parrish.
Robert Parrish. Let's take a look here.
This is not good.
Robert Parrish.
I have no right to talk because I'm getting smoked.
On the board.
Oh my God! Is it really? Is it really?
Yeah.
That's infuriating.
Bobby, back to you.
Stunning.
It's a championship hangover right here. Bobby, what you got?
You're too loud, Jack. We got a headache. We need Advil, sunglasses.
I was about to change the gain on my mic because I thought you were serious.
No. It's a horrible guess, but when you we've lost, so why not? Kenny Anderson.
Kenny Anderson. Let's see. All right, let me.
To the chat, I apologize.
This is only with the Celtics?
It is, yes. This is only with the Celtics. Let's take a look here.
This is bad for Bobby. This is a long buffer from Jack. He's filibustering. You don't want that.
Too high of a total to add up. 4,001. He forgot a 0. Amazing score right there.
Unfortunately not. Back to you, Sam. Let's see what you got.
I will guess. I'll guess Mikhail.
It's a mean laugh right there.
That's a big hit.
Cruel laugh.
Yeah, I just sent Jack to the fucking laugh factory. That's how good that guess was. Yep.
All right, Bobby, back to you.
All right, as we mount our comeback.
Oh, I cursed. I'm sorry.
Oh, did you? I didn't
Yeah.
pay attention. I'll take a look. It's fine.
Appreciate it.
Oh, I'm crying. Okay, back to you, Bobby.
I do recognize it's insane for me to not just fire off a guess and get this
Bobby,
over with.
if you can guess a player who has committed 0 Celtics turnovers that is not on the current team, I'll give you 1,000 for free.
0 Celtics turnovers.
Not on the current team.
Is there any sort of minimums required here?
Has to have played at least 5 games.
Thank you for that, because I had like 3 or 4 guesses I would have thrown out.
Sam, to avoid your complaints, this does not matter. This is for the fun of the show.
Yeah, I mean,
with all due
if
respect.
I won because of this, then it's not going on my side of the board.
Yes, I would absolutely not do that.
It's just a game within the game.
Yep.
0 turnovers in his Celtics
at least 5
career.
games. I think I could give you 2,000 to be honest.
We're on to the next one.
Yeah, of course.
This is one you don't watch the film after.
This is semantics. This is semantics, but I'm curious to see if you can get this because this would be fun. At least 5 games, 0 turnovers. Not on the current roster because that'd be too easy.
It's tough because now, I mean, immediately you try to think of like end of the bench guys.
Yep. Shout out Josh. Battle rewind. Legend. Thank you.
All right. I'm only throwing. I don't believe this is correct, but I don't have the answer, and I'm more curious to find out who it is. You know, maybe there's more than one. But,
I don't actually have an answer. I'm just hoping you can guess what I'm just
gonna
look
really?
up on Basketball Reference. Yeah.
Well, I was going to throw out RJ Hunter, but he probably did too much. I would assume he had turnovers.
He appeared in 36 Celtics games and committed 11 turnovers. I bet I can look it up though. Let's see. If I could have me, Sam, do you have a final guess? I mean,
like I wonder if Theo Ratliff had any Celtics turnovers.
For reference, Paul Pierce was 1, Larry Bird was 2, Robert Parrish was 3, and Kevin McHale was 4. So this was
Who was 5?
Twan Walker was 5. Jaylen Brown not on the list. It was Walker, Rondo, Maxwell, Dennis Johnson, Tatum, Smart.
I was going to guess Marcus.
So there you go. In case anybody was curious, we can hit the stat muse though to see Celtics players with fewest turnovers in franchise history. Should do the trick, right? I think that should work. Let's see. Games played 8. Malik Fitz 8 games, 0 turnovers. Well, I said not current roster, so you get a pass.
Oh, yeah.
At least 5 games too. So Malik Fitz would have passed. PJ Dozier would have passed. Todd Munt, if you wanted to go with that. Nick Stauskas, Fab Melo, RIP. Keith Bogans, Jarvis Varnado. Yeah. All right. One game to Sam.
Jarvis Varnado era.
Bobby can put it in the review. Sam can paste it on his billboard. Let it be up there. Do we like the new format though? Chat. Bobby, Sam,
I'm a huge fan.
I'm cool with it.
All right.
Yeah, you're loving it.
I love this.
I ripped it right off.
This
TikTok.
is like when they put the 3-point line in.
All right.
You know, sometimes it takes the champs getting smacked on national television to regroup it and get back to the level that they're accustomed to.
Rick Fox for Jimmy J because he was curious. 781, or excuse me, 830. In his Boston career. He played 1 fewer season in Boston than LA, but committed 50 more turnovers. So
see, because I spent a little too much time thinking about the scrub Celtics years in the 90s, but I don't feel at least most of those players didn't stick around that long.
I think that the key with turnovers is just quantity, because like Kobe leads the NBA ever in turnovers, right? But it's because he played so much and he played for so long. So stuff. All right, Bobby, any final thoughts before we get out of here?
I just want to apologize to everyone and assure you that we will be better next time.
Phenomenal. Well, go check out Bobby's work at si.com/Celtics. His work is eons better than his performance today. I assure you that. We appreciate Bobby for tuning in. Sam takes a 1-0 lead in trivia. Make sure to like and subscribe. Like I mentioned at the start of the podcast. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. I'll let Sam wrap it up.
Hey, thank you very much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our daily uploads. These Talkin' C's eps are coming at you Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Our full pods are Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, and we're here every day after whatever game is played to recap it for you in the morning. And we're also here a half hour before all the games for pregame live So you don't want to miss any of that. It's a total blast to come hang out. You want to be here no matter what. You can also find Bobby inside the Celtics for SI Media. He's on Twitter at Bobby Kravitsky. He is at practice. He's at the games. He's giving you great coverage of the team, so he's a great source. Anything Celtics you're looking for. You can also find us on Spotify and Apple. If you want, you can follow us for the audio pods and game recaps right to your inbox and leave a 5-star review. Say something nice. You can email us, hbtcpod@gmail.com. If you do so, we will go through and we will read your emails on the podcast. We love to hear from you guys, so we do appreciate every single time you reach out. Speaking of that, you can find us on socials at How About Them C's, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Facebook is just the name of the podcast. You can find our streams there and on Twitter and also on YouTube. But back to Twitter, Jack's Twitter is at Jack's Money NBA, mine's at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us. Bye.